everyone, I just thought I'd pop on quickly and share with you this abstract contemporary art technique that I've just discovered myself. I think you need several colours of paint, and myself and Mr. Handyman have just been discussing the difference of paints that complement each other and paints that are the complements of each other, which are can be two different things. These are what I've chosen. I hope they work. Never done this before. I've chosen this purple. I've chosen this, which is called turquoise, imaginatively, and of course my white. So the thing you do is just squeeze them out onto the canvas. I'm using I don't know what that is really, a 10 by 10, is it? Something like that. It's 10 by 10. Jackson's premium art canvas, but you could use anything. I'm just using this because it's to hand, and I want to have enough paint, but I don't really want it sloshing it everywhere. So that might be way too much or not enough, who knows. But it feels somehow naughty just to squeeze it onto the canvas. And what's even naughtier is I'm taking a 2-inch chip brush to spread this out and about. So it is just kind of spread it out and about type business. It's a very liberating kind of process, this. I just hope it works. So I'm really tempted to, I'm just going to wipe the end of that brush. So I do want to retain some of this turquoise in here. My strokes are all going in this diagonal, following this diagonal pattern. I think maybe as you get more and more used to it, you can probably, play around with it. But at the moment, this is the first one I've ever done, and I want it to look nice. I do like those colours together, though. Don't you, Mr. H?
I love them.
Yeah, they're really nice. Quite regal colours, aren't they? Quite Egyptian-y sort of regal colours. Right, now I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm going to try and get a little bit of white out of here, but it's such a big pouch. Sometimes you get more out than you actually would like. So I'm just going to put little bits hither and thither, hither and thither. A little bit up there maybe, and a tiny bit down here. Okay, let's get the lid back on that. Just going to clean the tip of my brush off again. And let's go into this white. Spread it around a little bit. I was pushing it down onto the canvas at this stage. And we'll come and blend it a little more. At the minute it's the blind leading the blind, as I say. I've never done this before. Smoosh it down. Smoosh it. That's a nice word, isn't it? Of course, the more you smoosh, the more you're picking up paint from underneath, which is really nice. Okay, so we'll just blend those out a little bit. It might have a bit too much white on here, so take note, you probably don't need that much. But we'll see when we're finished what it looks like. I think I've finished with that brush now. So the next thing that you do is really exciting. You dip a brush of some sort into your water, plain water, and then you just flick the canvas with it, so as you get water all over the canvas. And I think you want droplets rather than rain, rather than big puddles. I have a bit too much on here. And then you take some kitchen towel. I'm going to be really spendy happy here and take 3 pieces, fold it up into my hand, and then just do that. Don't worry, this is not the end. I'm not even halfway through. I think I might need some more water on there. Do you think? Or is that all right?
When you've finished. No, that's looking.
It's looking all right.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn this around and see if I can get any more to come off that wants to come off. Okay, so I just got 2 random lines there. Right, okay, so that's the end of this stage. We'll leave this to dry and I'll join you again when it's dry. Right, so this is dry now. So what I need to do now is mark 2 lines wherever you want, pretty much, or you can follow where I'm going to put my lines. I'm going to use my T-square to help me get it straight. It's upside down. That doesn't help. And a T-square will give you a straight line, because if you line it up with this along the bottom, you'll get a straight line. So that, where that stands, is just short of 3¼ inches. I mean, I'm telling you this for interest, not for anything else, because you can put yours wherever you wish to. So I'm just going to mark that with a line of pastel, and I want a similar line along here, about the same distance, just a wee touch more. That's fine. Square. So there we are, we've got our 2 pastel lines drawn on. So the first thing we need to do now is get some masking tape. I'm going to use this frog tape for sensitive regions. That's not right.
Or a more gentle wax removal process.
That's not right, is it?
No.
What is it for then?
Delicate surfaces.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's pretty close, really.
I mean, your delicate regions can be sensitive surfaces, of course.
Oh dear. And even although it's for sensitive regions,
and delicate surfaces.
and delicate surfaces, I'm still going to stick it on my clothing and then pull it off, which gets rid of even more of the adhesive. So then I'm going to attach this just on the outside of that pastel line that we put down. I'm just putting this tape under some pressure, and then it'll go straight more easily. Okay, so we've got that on. So now I'm going to use the what did we say? The purple. Yeah. Good job. Somebody's listening to me. So I'm going to use the purple, that we've already used. And I'm also going to use some dioxazine purple, which is a purple as well, but it's a really, really dark colour, which is what we need. So I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit of that as well. I can't think of another time when I've actually had to use Diox Purple straight out of the tube. It's such a strong pigment. Right, and probably need, you know, like a paintbrush for this. I've got one. This one's certainly not one of my best ones, but it doesn't have to be.
You need a rougher brush. More...
No, this one's pretty jiggered anyway. So this is the lighter of the two purples. It's the one we used in the background. Now the whole flow of this painting is this way, so I'm going to carry on putting that on this way. Just randomly, there's no, I don't think there's any sort of pattern to it or whatever. Make sure that you get right up to the masking tape. And like I say, I think it maybe has some importance that you do actually go in the same line, same plane as your let's put the first paint on. I'm dying to know what this turns out like. We are videoing it rather than doing a live on it in case it turns out rubbish. I know you'd be forgiving, I know you'd forgive me, but you know, have my pride. Big hair there. So just roughen those edges up a bit. I think that's probably okay. Okay, so I'm just going to wet my brush and I'm just going to pull this out a little bit so it doesn't look quite so uniform there. Because we've got the diox to put in right next to the tape to make it dark right in that region. I'll just pull this out. That's looking a bit better. It's nice the bit with the water in because you can see, I mean, in an ideal world I guess you'd be using glazing medium for this, so you wouldn't be compromising the stickability of the paint. But this is a practice piece really, so see how it goes. What's that looking like? Yeah, I think that's fine. Actually, on the monitor, looking at the monitor, looks like I've painted all of this out. I don't know. Yeah, that's maybe better. It hasn't by any means. You can still see right through it. Okay.
Because you may find it easier with a bigger brush because you won't get so many
Yeah,
brush marks.
that's
if you
right.
use the 2-inch brush,
yeah,
then 3 or 4 swipes would do it rather than 20 little ones.
And I do think glazing medium would be a really good idea. So I'm just going in for my diox. Bear in mind, you know, I always say this to you, but it is, honestly, it is the most powerful pigment. And that's just really, it's just a little bit along the side of the masking tape. It comes out occasionally. I mean, you could do this in black, really, to be honest, if you wanted. I'm just using purple because I'm using purple. It's just little bits along the edge of the masking tape. And make sure you've got it on there. Okay, I think that's done. Let's take the masking tape off there. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks alright. I'm going to get another bit of masking tape because invariably it'll fall on the paint in the wrong way around, isn't it? So I've still got my line.
Is that dry?
Oh, that's the point. I'll just stick this on my t-shirt while I dry it. Not my t-shirt, the paint. So we'll stick this, remove this from my t-shirt and stick it back onto, well, stick it onto, I mean. Just allowing the pastel that you put down to be on top of the masking tape. Just pull it quite, you know, put it under a bit of tension, the masking tape, and it'll stick better. Just stuck it on the wrong side. So ninny am I. You want it above the blooming pastel line. There is a reason we don't do these live. Isn't there, Mr. H?
There is.
Which
Be a
way?
blooper reel coming out soon.
Oh no! Oh, I'll tell you. I was talking to Paula last night about, you know, why we do videos sometimes as opposed to like the old barn and stuff like that. And I said, I'll just swear. You know, there's so much of it that you've just got to cut out because I swear. And she said, well, you could always put it out on YouTube, but say, may cause offence to some viewers. But we're not that bad, are we, really? Well, you say no, but when you come to edit them, there always seems to be a lot of editing going on. Right, so it's the same kind of business again. The lighter purple. Oh, I was going to do it with a thick brush, wasn't I? See how I get on. Should I use 1 inch or 2 inch? 2?
2 would probably be.
Let's do 2.
Probably give it a try, eh?
Well, this is it. Let me make all the mistakes for you. Then when you come to do it, hopefully we should have ironed the crinkles out, and that you should be able to go.
There hasn't been any mistakes yet. It's looking lovely.
It is looking nice. Right, so I want some of this purple on your brush. I haven't got much left, but I'm sure I've got enough. And it comes the same way again as the initial strokes that we put on. This looks like it's picking up some white from somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll put some more purple out anyway.
I think it's probably just the water on the brush.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It'll dry dark? Yeah, it's beginning to dry dark already. I think that's one of the most difficult things to get used to with acrylic paint, particularly if you're doing a portrait or a pet portrait or something like that. You put the paint on, it's an absolute smashing match. You get it perfectly, and then it dries and it's, you know, not what you wanted. You sort of get used to it after a while, making allowances for that. But it'd be nice if it, you know, if it went on the same colour as it stays. So there we are. Is that enough? More?
It's fine.
Does it look like? I'd say that's all right. Maybe a little bit.
Use the big brush flat on. That's it.
Yeah.
Then you get less brush marks and more.
More action.
That's lovely.
So back to the diox again. I'm just going to turn this around just for my own ease of putting this on. Kind of down the edge of the masking tape, and then we just pulled it away a little bit. here and there, almost dry brushing it really away from the masking tape. I selected this brush because it's old and jiggered, but that doesn't help really when you're trying to do a straight line down the edge of the masking tape. But I think we'll be alright.
The purpose of the masking tape is you don't have to worry about a straight edge because it's creating one.
Yeah,
whatever
no.
you do.
Look at that though, even with an old brush. It's amazing, really. Should never throw your old brushes out, guys. Hang on to them, because the day will come when you'll want to paint grass or fur or something like that, and you'll wish that you had a fluffy brush. Okay, does that look okay to you? Yeah, looks okay to me. Right, moment of truth. This is it finished now when this comes off. Look at that. This isn't dry yet. In actual fact, I'll give it a dry now so we can see what it looks like when it's all dry. Okay, so there we are, our finished piece. It actually looks lighter in real life down there than it does on the monitor, but it needs some refining. It certainly does. I need to work out how far is the optimum distance to paint away from the masking tape, etc. But overall, I love this. I mean, it looks like deep space. It's really attractive, and I mean, you could try loads of different colours, as many colours or whatever as you want to, and you could make, well, we've put the diox, you could do that in black or a very dark blue if that's what suited your piece. But I mean, the kids could do this really, and you know, really achieve something very, very pretty. I think there's no real artistic skill in it, if you like. So there you go. That's my Sunday gift to you. Bye.